The North American Standard Level 1 Inspection Procedure. This presentation will cover what the Standard Level 1 inspection procedure is like and what to expect from an inspector conducting their inspection. Inspector's point of view. From a commercial vehicle safety inspector's perspective, the point of the NAS inspection is to ensure both your safety and those of others traveling on the highways. The costs associated with being put out of service are insignificant when compared to the costs of crashes with innocent people. Be proactive and inspect your vehicle thoroughly before you take your next trip. The keys are in your hand. Brakes check for missing, non-functioning, loose, contaminated, or cracked parts on the brake system. Check for S-cam flipover. Be alert for audible air leaks around brake components and lines. Check that the slack adjusters are the same length, from center of S-cam to center of clevis pin, and that the air chambers on each axle are the same size. Check brake adjustment. Ensure the air system maintains air pressure between 90 and 100 psi. Measure pushrod travel. Inspect required brake system warning devices, such as ABS malfunction lamps and low air pressure warning devices. Inspect tractor protection system, including the bleed back system on the trailer. Coupling devices. Safety devices, full trailers, sure converter dolly. Check the safety devices, chains, charge wire rope, for sufficient number, missing components, improper repairs, and devices that are incapable of secure attachment. On the lower fifth wheel, check for unsecured mounting to the frame, or any missing or damaged parts, or any visible space between the upper and lower fifth wheel plates. Verify that the locking jaws are around the shank and not the head of the kingpin, and that the release lever is seated properly and that the safety latch is engaged. Check the upper fifth wheel for any damage to the weight-bearing plate and its supports, such as cracks, loose or missing bolts on the trailer. On the sliding fifth wheel, check for proper engagement of locking mechanism, teeth fully engaged on rail. Also check for worn or missing parts. Ensure that the position does not allow the tractor frame rails to contact the landing gear during turns. Check for damaged or missing fore and aft stops. Fuel and exhaust systems. Check your fuel tanks for the following conditions: loose mounting, leaks, or other conditions, loose or missing caps, and signs of leaking fuel below the tanks. For exhaust systems, check the following: unsecured mounting, leaks beneath the cab, exhaust system components in contact with electrical wiring or brake lines and hoses, and excessive carbon deposits around seams and clamps. Frame van and open-top trailers. Top. Inspect for corrosion fatigue, cross members cracked, loose or missing, cracks in frame, missing or defective body parts. Look at the condition of the hoses. Check suspension of air hoses of vehicle with sliding tandems. On the frame and frame assembly, check for cracks, bends, sagging, loose fasteners, or any defect that may lead to the collapse of the frame. Corrosion, fatigue, cross members cracked or missing, cracks in frame, missing or defective body parts. Inspect all axle edges. Inspect for non-manufactured holes, inalien or rust holes, holes created by rubbing or friction, etc. For broken springs in the spring brake housing section of the parking brake. For vans and open-top trailer bodies, look at the upper rail and check roof bows and side posts for buckling, cracks, or ineffective fasteners. On the lower rail, check for breaks accompanied by sagging floor, rail, or cross members, or broken with loose or missing fasteners at side posts adjacent to the crack. Lighting. Inspect all required lamps for proper color, operation, mounting, and visibility. Securement of cargo. Make sure you are carrying a safe load. Check tailboard security. Verify end gates are secured in stake pockets. Check both sides of the trailer to ensure cargo is protected from shifting or falling. Verify that rear doors are securely closed. Where load is visible, check for proper blocking and bracing. It may be necessary to examine inside of trailer to assure that large objects are properly secured. Check cargo securement devices for proper number, size, and condition. Check tie-down anchor points for deformation and cracking. Steering. Check the steering lash by first turning the steering wheel in one direction until the tires begin to pivot. Then, place a mark on the steering wheel at a fixed reference point, and then turn the wheel in the opposite direction until the tires again start to move. Mark the steering wheel at the same fixed reference point and measure the distance between the two marks. The amount of allowable lash varies with the diameter of the steering wheel. Suspension. Inspect the suspension for indications of misaligned, shifted, cracked or missing springs, loosened shackles, missing bolts, unsecured spring hangers, and cracked or loose U-bolts. Also, check any unsecured axle positioning parts and for signs of axle misalignment. On the front axle, check for cracks, welds, and obvious misalignment. Tires, wheels, rims, and hubs. Check tires for proper inflation, cuts and bulges, regrooved tires on steering axle, tread wear, and major tread groove depth. Inspect sidewalls for defects, improper repairs, exposed fabric or cord, contact with any part of the vehicle, and tire markings excluding it from use on a steering axle. Inspect wheels and rims for cracks, unseated locking rings, and broken or missing lugs, studs, or clamps. Also check for rims that are cracked or bent, have loose of damaged lug nuts and elongated stud holes, have cracks across spokes or in the web area, and have evidence of slippage in the clamp areas. Check the hubs for lubricant leaks, missing caps or plugs, misalignment and positioning, and damaged, worn, or missing parts. Get to the point. It's a fine line getting from point A to point B and then back home again safely. To help you along your journey, we're providing you with The Point, your roadmap to commercial vehicle safety, and it all starts with one very simple step. Point A, before you even put your foot on the pedal, click the metal to the metal. It's just about the most important thing you can do. Period. That strap is the one thing that can make the difference between you either walking away or having to be carted away from a crash. Point B, set your bearings. Both your mind and your vehicle have to be in a safe mindset. Pre-inspect your vehicle and check for load securement. Inspect your vehicle before each trip and check your brakes regularly. Learn how to inspect your brakes, identify safety defects, and get them repaired before risking your life and others on the highway. Point C, running on empty. You wouldn't drive your truck on empty, so why would you let yourself drive on empty? The most important part of a moving truck or bus is the driver. Get plenty of rest before getting behind the wheel. Eat well and stay fit. Remember, fatigue and hours of service violations are serious and can threaten your livelihood or even your life. Stay healthy and well-rested, or don't drive. Point D, watch out for the blind spot. Adjust your mirrors and know your blind spots. Some are so large that a car can virtually disappear from your view. So take extra precautions when changing lanes. Don't drive blind. Point E, keep your distance. Always leave enough space between you and the vehicle in front of you. If you hit someone from behind, you are typically considered at fault, regardless of the situation. Large trucks require more stopping distances than other vehicles. Take advantage of your driving height and anticipate braking situations. Driving the point home. Don't let your ETA be the factor in being DOA. We're all on this road together, so share it safely. Thank you for watching this presentation.